Hi, this is Stacia, and I wanted to start a new series of videos that I'm going to call Blitz Lessons. And so, what I'm going to do is take a look at Blitz games and just come up with one new thing to learn or one new lesson to learn. And then, if it's notable, I'll make a video about it. I always recommend if you're going to play Blitz games, then at least learn one thing from them. And that's not my idea. That came from Jennifer Shahadi, who mentioned it in one of the commentaries. Okay, so I played this opponent. My blitz rating's fairly low, by the way. I'm like a 1200, 1300 player. And I hope to improve this over time. So my opponent started with d4, knight f6, and then the strange move h3, a bit inaccurate to not develop a piece in the opening. I played d5. They developed their dark square bishop outside the pawn chain. And here I had to be careful because I want to play bishop f5, but I have to calculate what happens after g4. But it turns out this is totally fine because if they were to play g4 and try this kind of thing, I do have knight takes g4 here. And even if he could pull this off, I think I could probably play h6, and I do have a place to hide my bishop. Although I think if this is the only way to play, I wouldn't have did it. I think taking the pawn is better. So, okay, let's continue though. So I did develop here, and he did not play g4. He developed a piece. Is probably a much better move. And then I played e6, and he played knight c3. And this brings me to the point of the game that I want to focus on. So he's threatening knight b5 here, and you've probably seen this a lot, or at least I've seen this many times, where white's idea is to attack the weak c7 square, and not only that, but d6 as well. So these two dark squares come under attack if white gets in knight b5. And it can be problematic, and if you're not used to seeing this, you can certainly fall into traps here. But I learned a new way to defend this that I thought was really interesting. So one way that I usually defend this, like let's say I just develop my bishop this way and knight b5 comes in, I usually play the move knight a6. And okay, I'm checking. This is the top computer move, and this defends c7 nicely. And then next I'm going to play c6. And what's funny about this line is a lot of times you can get sort of a counter attack on c2. So just for example, I could show that. So yeah, it wants the computer to play a3. A computer wants to play a3 to stop the counterattack. But like, let's just say they play, this move. Then I can play c6. They come back, and now I have knight b4. The same thing's happening to them. So it's pretty interesting. And then they can defend this, but black is slightly better here. So like bishop d3 would be a good move, for example, just defending the pawn, and it does offer the trade, so I probably have to take or something. Or it's better to take with the knight. Oh, they can't take with the queen, right? So they have to take with a pawn. So black's slightly better in this line, so that's good. All right, so let me see if I can go back. Yeah, so you can play that way if you have knight a6 available. That's definitely probably the best way to counter this attack on the dark squares early. But in this game, I was a little careless and thoughtless, and I played the knight b to d7. So the problem with this is that I don't have knight to a6 anymore, and my opponent did play knight b5, by the way. So this is definitely under attack. And of course, you realize this is a fork. So this is a big deal. So you must respond to this. But here's where the computer says knight b to d7 was just fine. due to an interesting maneuver that I haven't seen before, but I expect that is probably pretty common. So if you'd like to pause your video and see how black can defend this and even be slightly better, then do so now. Okay, and the move is bishop b4 check. All right, so we're throwing in this check, and I I looked at this move briefly, but then I saw after c3 that it was kind of pointless. But the point is bishop a5, defending the c7 square. Fascinating move. And now this attack just doesn't work. So I can't really do anything about this. I mean, they could try to kick out my bishop, but I'll just go here. And, you know, one of these moves is coming, and their knight doesn't have many squares. It would just have to go here. And black has held it together. So I just found this really interesting, this whole bishop b4 check move. So this whole maneuver. So that's the main point of my video. So thank you for watching. If you haven't, please like the video, subscribe, leave comments. I love to hear from you guys. All right, and thank you. Have a good one.